How's everybody doing today? I'm going to shift this a little bit. I've got a huge glare on me here. Let's see if I can, there we go, so I'm not like squinting at you. Well, here we are, Christmas Eve. How is everybody doing this week? Is it stressful for you or is it joyful for you? Hopefully more of the latter. If you're joining live, please say hello. I would be happy to greet you. And if you're watching on replay, please say hello, #replay, so I know you were able to catch it on the replay. So today I want to talk about holiday presents. Yay! So we all know that the season is about giving and presents and gifts and all of those things. And those are all wonderful things. So I don't want to detract from that. Hello, I see somebody jumping on there. Hi there. Merry Christmas Eve. Yeah, a little disclaimer. We're talking about a different kind of presents today, but I don't want to detract from the very lovely sentiment of giving gifts. That's a really wonderful thing to do. And I'm not saying that presents aren't necessary or are not a good thing to do at Christmas. But what I want to focus on today is the other kind of presents, being present in the moment. So you can call it mindfulness or whatever you want. But I just wanted to talk a little bit today about how we can cultivate presence during the holidays and do a little embodiment exercise with you that will hopefully tap into your senses and some of your wonderful memories of past holidays, or maybe even some present holidays, or maybe some future memories that you're about to create this week or next. And I'm hoping to kind of take you on a little embodiment journey through your senses to help you cultivate presence in your holiday season. So I had posted a little meme or graphic earlier in the week that talks about ways to cultivate presence. I'm going to pull it up right now on my phone because I wanted to just, I'm not going to just read through the whole thing. There it is. That looks familiar. That's from earlier this week, holiday presents. So I just wanted to go over a couple of these bullets that I think are really important before we get into our embodiment exercise. And the one of them that I think is extra important is embrace joy in the unexpected and see the bigger picture when things don't go according to plan. I think that's really apropos this particular year, our COVID Christmas of 2020. Certainly many things are not going as planned, right? So this is actually a great time, a great year to kind of take stock and let go of what we don't care about anymore, and definitely hold on to the things that we do. So traditions are a huge thing during the holidays, right? And in my family in particular, traditions are a big deal. We have some traditions that we've been doing literally as long as I can remember. Others have fallen by the wayside. But what I want to say about traditions is that hold on to them if they are very meaningful to you. But if they become stressful to you and you are driving yourself mad trying to fit in all of your traditions, then it's time to let some of that go, because you don't want something that's supposed to bring joy, bring stress instead. So think of it like the Marie Kondo style, right? So for your traditions. So if it's not sparking joy, you want to let it go. It doesn't mean that it didn't spark joy in the past. You can have wonderful memories of traditions that you might not do anymore, but definitely don't hold on just for the sake of holding on. That's something that I personally have struggled with in the past. So I have a few traditions that are really dear to my heart that we are continuing, and others that I love remembering, but we're not going to keep them in the rotation anymore. A couple other little tips before we get into the embodiment exercise. So be aware and eliminate negative self-talk. I think this one's important. I'm a lot more aware of this now that I have a child. Don't talk badly about yourself. Don't talk badly about anyone, of course, but especially yourself. You do not want to teach, if you have little ears around you, you do not want to teach them to judge themselves negatively. So let go of any of that stuff, and let go of negative talk about maybe some family issues or family members that you've had some tensions with in the past. Try to let that go and try to just sort of glide right through that. A couple other little things that you can do to cultivate presence during the holiday season are turn off your technology, especially when you're with family. That's obviously if you're virtually with family on the computer. You are using technology, but you don't have to be checking your phone. You don't have to be doing a bunch of other things at the same time. For those of you that are actually with family, certainly you want to try not to be staring at your phone the whole time. So I'd love to hear any of your ideas that you might have for cultivating presence, holiday presence, during this potentially extremely stressful time. Here is something that I want to do now with you to bring you into your body. So I find that whenever I'm not feeling present, whenever I'm feeling like scattered or off, the thing that brings me back, the thing that calms me down is coming back to my body. So today I wanted to bring you through a little journey through your 5 senses, and I want you to hopefully end this day feeling extremely present in the moment and feeling really at peace with everything around you. Hello, hello, I see someone else there. Nice to see you. So for this embodiment exercise, I'm going to give you a couple of options. If you do not have a ball, you can totally do this without any props at all. You could do this lying on the floor, you could do this sitting down, you could do this leaning against a wall, you could do this in your bed, however you want to do it. If you do have a ball, a Yamuna ball, and you want to try something a little more active, you can do the same thing that I'm going to guide you through with a Yamuna ball. So I want you to decide for yourself if you want to do this in a more passive way or if you wanted to do it in a more active way. I'm going to show the active version. So I'm going to actually be standing. This is if you're using the ball, this is a standing exercise. So I'm going to show it in that more active way, but if you want to just lie down on your back and go for a ride, you certainly can do that. And you could even, like on your back, if you wanted to put like a ball or a pillow under your neck for some support, anything like that, you certainly can. Okay, so if you're going to choose to do this with a ball, grab, you could really do it with any ball, but I think the ideal is probably the pearl. So let me make sure that I can stay in the frame. So I'm going to stand up here. Let's see if this works. Oh, well, you can see part of me. You don't necessarily have to see my head, so let's see if I can make this work. Okay, cool. So here's what I want you to do. Whether you're lying down or whether you're standing or whatever it is, I want you to, well, if you like to close your eyes, to tune in and close your eyes. If you prefer to keep your eyes open, that's fine. But what I want you to do is think about some of the favorite memories that pop into your mind when you think about the holidays. And these may be memories from as far back as childhood, or they may be memories from yesterday, or they may be just, we talked about traditions. It could be something that you have many memories of. But I want you to just start to let your brain and your body be flooded with memories of holidays past or present. So memories that make you feel warm and fuzzy inside, memories that make you feel good. And what we're going to do is try to hook on to those memories and allow them to bring you peace so that you can make more of those kinds of memories. So with that in mind, if you're choosing to do the active standing version, I want you to take the ball between your legs. Now in the Yamuna world, we call this the deep center line connector, and I thought it would be really appropriate today, since we're trying to get really centered in our bodies and in our minds. I thought this would be appropriate. So if you're doing the standing version, ball is between your legs, legs are directly under your hips, feet are basically parallel. So I think you can just barely see my feet there. So you don't want to be turned out or turned in. If you're just lying down, that's fine. Feel your whole body on the surface. Feel all the different points of connection to the floor or the bed. Feel all the negative space as well. So noticing the space that you're in and the surface that you're on. Okay, if you're standing, shift your weight a couple of times. Now let's think about our 5 senses. After you've shifted your weight right and left, find that center axis once again. Feel your toes and your heels on the floor. Thinking about our 5 senses, let's start with sight. So I want you to just start thinking of these memories that popped into your mind. I want you to start thinking about them through the lens of different senses. So what are some visual memories that spark when you think about Christmases or holidays past? What are some things that you remember seeing or that you look for every year? So with that in mind, thinking of all of these visual memories, the lights, the colors, the snow, with all of that stuff in mind, I want you to just start to tilt your head forward. If you're doing the standing exercise, tilt your head forward and just start to hang over. Use the ball
as a reference point to see where your center is. So you don't want to be hanging all the way over here or all the way over here. You have a visual reference point to line your whole center up with. So as you're hanging over, you can bend your knees if you want. This is not about a hamstring stretch. This is not about getting a big long stretch. It's just about feeling this whole center line from the nose, sternum, belly button, pubic bone, down all the way to the space between your feet. As you're doing this, you're thinking of all of these wonderful sights of Christmas. Red and green, silver and gold. Blue is a big one that you see in the holiday season for Hanukkah. So other visual memories that you have connecting into your center at the same time. If you're lying down, I want you to just think about where you're feeling this memory in your body. So you might be, hopefully it's a good memory and it's making you feel good in your body. Where do you specifically feel it? So a couple more moments breathing here, thinking of these visual memories. And when you're ready, for those that are standing, let your sit bones drop. Bend your knees a little more and just start to come up. Don't worry too much about form or function here. Just keep that center line connected to the ball. Okay, now you're going to take your ball, move it a little ways down, about halfway down the leg towards the knee. If you're lying down, you're just going to continue to lie down and feel the surface underneath of you. For those standing, you can do a little bit more weight shifting side to side. Come back to center when you're ready, feeling your weight equally distributed on both sides. Now, what's the next sense that we want to go for? Let's go for sound next. So, thinking of those happy holiday memories, what are some great oral things about the holidays that you love? So the first thing for me that comes to mind, of course, is holiday music, Christmas carols, sleigh bells, that kind of stuff. You might think of choirs, you might think of children laughing, the sound of presents being torn open. While you're thinking about these things, let's fold forward and connect into that center line. So again, use your eyes to see where your reference point is and hang over that center point. Lots of good breathing here. If you're on your back, as you're thinking of all of these beautiful oral memories, I want you to notice where you're feeling this in your body. It might not be around your ears. It might be somewhere in your heart or in your belly or somewhere totally unrelated. So picking your favorite oral memories and starting to come back to standing when you're ready. Okay, so let's now start thinking about memories of sort of olfactory memories. So thinking about the smells of Christmas or of the holiday season in general. So of course, the first thing that probably comes to mind for most of us is the smell of cookies or other wonderful treats baking in the oven. So kind of thinking about different things that you might smell. The smell of wood smoke, there's fires burning, or some people can smell when snow is coming. I personally feel like I can always smell when there's going to be snow. What else for you? So just kind of thinking about these things, move the ball down if you're standing to just above the knees. So you're kind of tapping into your olfactory memories. When you're ready, you're going to start to fold forward again, finding your center line, hanging over that visual reference point as you remember the wonderful scents and smells of the holiday season. Maybe it's a particular recipe that you used to make as a child with your family, or maybe it's one that you currently do. And take a couple breaths. If you're lying down, where are you feeling these olfactory memories in your body? When you're ready, come back to standing. All right, I see a couple of you popped on there. Happy to have you here. When you're ready, we're going to think of our next set. So we've done sight, sound, smell. Let's go ahead and go into the next logical one after smell. Taste. So hopefully everybody watching has their sense of smell and taste. If you have fallen prey to the terrible virus and you lost your sense of smell and taste, I hope that it has returned for you. Give yourself a moment here to think about the things that you like to taste during the holidays. So those things that we're baking in the oven, those are something that we like to taste. Any other wonderful dishes that you specifically associate with the holidays. And don't forget about drinks as well. Beverages, cranberries, hot toddies, wassail, eggnog, all of that stuff. Get those in your mind, bring the ball 1 point lower to just below the knees now. So you probably have to narrow your stance a little bit so that you can continue to squeeze the ball. If you're lying down, just feeling the space around you, feeling the surface underneath of you. Remembering these wonderful tastes and starting to fold forward. Again, you can bend your knees if you want to. This does not have to be a major stretch. You don't have to touch your toes. You don't have to reach for the floor. You're just hanging. So you can see my upper body is really dangling. If I shake my head, nod my head yes, shake my head no, it just swings like a pendulum. I'm dangling down over the ball, feeling my deep center line, feeling my weight distributed equally around that center line. When you're ready, you're going to start to come up. If you're on the floor, where are you feeling these memories of taste in your body? Where does it spark joy in your body? Once you're back up, we will think about touch. This is a good one. This is a little bit more centering even than the others because sounds and sights and things can happen away from you externally, are not necessarily related to you. But the last three, smell, taste, and then finally touch, those are all very specific to you, right? You have to be involved in that sense. So go ahead and move your ball down to just above the ankles or maybe right at the ankles and start thinking about tactile things that you love about the holidays. So the first thing that comes to mind for me is warm woolly sweaters and blankets. Certainly it could be the bite of the cold. If you're outside playing in the snow, you have frosty fingertips, frosty toes, frosty nose. Those are all tactile things. The cushiness of the snow, the warmth of a fire, different things like that. Thinking of those things in particular, how they pertain to your personal memories that you have of the holiday season. So letting those memories fill you up, those tactile memories, and folding down if you're doing the standing routine. If you're lying down, feeling the surface underneath of you and noticing where the memory manifests in your body. Even standing, you can notice where in your body you're feeling these memories. So, letting yourself hang, finding your weight equal between that center line. If your eyes are open, you can see that point that you're trying to line up with the space between your legs, with that center line up the sternum, all the way out the crown of the head. Okay, so staying there as long as you want. When you're ready, coming back up. Okay, and then there's another sense that we don't talk about very much, and it's sometimes in the movement world lovingly referred to as the sixth sense. And this is not a supernatural sixth sense. This is your vestibular sense. So if you're not familiar with that term, vestibular refers to your understanding of where you are in space. It's related to your proprioception. It's the understanding of where your body is in space and how to not fall over. So your vestibular sense is all about recalibrating so that you can stand on one leg, walk on uneven terrain, climb a tree, climb a wall, jump down from a high spot. Any of these things tap into your vestibular sense, which is your sense that allows you to stand up and move without falling over. So this is one of the senses that children, small children and babies start to develop from a pretty young age. As soon as they start walking, they are working on their vestibular sense. So in my mind, the vestibular sense is most
most well activated through movement. So what I would like you to do for this last part is move. So that can mean lots of different things. So I want you to think about your memories of holidays past and different movement activities that you've done. So that could be things like sledding, skiing, snowboarding, anything like that. My family used to go do snow tubing the day after Christmas every year. So certainly very active things like that. Building a snowman, ice skating. What else? I feel like I had another good example earlier today in my mind. Well, just things even too, like decorating the Christmas tree. That's certainly vestibular because you have to like reach up, maybe get on a step ladder, that kind of thing. So what I want you to do now is move, and that can mean anything. So if you're on your back, that might mean, oh, I don't want to go completely out of the frame, but that might mean that you just stretch your legs or give yourself a hug or kick your feet or roll side to side. If you're standing, that might mean sort of pretending to do the things that you're thinking of. So ice skating or snowboarding or sledding. And you might feel silly doing this. Who cares? I want you to just find ways to move that might send you a little off your center line and allow, whoa, that vestibular sense. That could be really simple stuff like rolling to your side and coming up, and then doing the same thing on the other side. So really simple stuff that forces you to find that center line. So this is an exploration that you can take with you. It doesn't have to be one and done right now. This is something that you can think about anytime, really. It doesn't have to be holiday related, of course. Anytime you're feeling like you've lost your presence, like you're not in your body, like you're not in your present moment, you're not in your reality, you could go through these 5 senses. You don't have to do it with the exercise that I showed you. You could if you wanted to, but if you really just tap in to your 5 senses plus your 6th vestibular sense, afterwards, I hope you'll feel like you're actually there, you're actually in the space, you're not somewhere in your phone, social media, all that stuff. You're actually where you want to be. So I'm hoping that that is useful for you today. If you have anything to share, if you tried it out with me, I would love to hear your experience. If you have anything to add, maybe you have some 2 cents to share about these 6 senses, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. In the meantime, it is Christmas Eve, so I would like to wish everyone a really peaceful, well, safe, joyful holiday. I hope that you are able to spend time with those that you love, virtually or in real life. And I hope that you come out of the holiday feeling like your soul has been fed, like you are ready for 2021, who's not? We're all ready for that. But I hope that you can feel filled up, that you can feel enriched after this holiday. And I want you all to know that speaking of presents, you guys are my greatest gift. So thank you for being here. And I am going to be on again next week. So we will have another little mini class next week. And that one's going to be all about growth. So thank you for being here. Happy holidays. May the light shine on you. Love to you all.